Animal Company has had over 40 different monsters in its game, and I've hunted them all. So today I'll be ranking all 34 monsters that are still in the game. Rest in peace to the guys that were removed. Except for this guy, because honestly, he always sort of creeped me out. I'm gonna be ranking monsters based off their threat level, their fighting design, and also whether they're actually fun in the game. Is the monster exciting, or does it make me want to bring a toaster to my bathtub? Starting with the worst monster in the game, the Big Head. Okay, so this guy is actually so bad, we have to put him in a category of his own. Please remove from the game. Please, genuinely. It's the only monster I'll ask us for. Please get rid of this one. Because it's actually so bad. So how it's supposed to work is that it spawns in a random pipe in the sewers, facing a random direction, and if you make eye contact with it, it comes and instantly kills you. And that sucks, because that's crazy punishment for something that could theoretically spawn facing any way, anywhere. But here's where it gets worse. It's actually such a big glitched mess, it ruins the game. Because there's been so many times where I'm walking near it, I'm facing directly at the ground, definitely not looking at it, and it still kills me anyways. And I know what you guys are thinking, but oh, Snail, why don't you just kill it? And the reason is because this thing has an ungodly amount of health. There have been times where I've legitimately put multiple rockets into this man, and it has not died. The only way I've ever been able to kill it is if I come with multiple cluster grenades and just bomb the crap out of it. And even then, it has to be in a lucky spawn location. But yeah, overall, this thing just sucks. It's always glitched. There's nothing about it that's entertaining. Please remove it from the game. But next up, we have E tier, the glitch tier. And ranked at number 33 is the Cutie Monster. The Cutie Monster isn't a bad concept. This little adorable fella turning into an angry beast. My biggest complaint, though, is that unless you have a mobility item to help speed through the tunnels, there's no real way to dodge or block this thing. It just magnets to your head. And once it's on your head, there's literally nothing you can do to damage it. You can't see anything in front of you. You can't grab it or whack it off. Pause. The only way to make it stop is to sit there for like 10 seconds as it's shouting in your face, or to stumble out of its safe zone where it'll explode. But like, it's not really super clear where the safe zone is for these guys, so you just kind of have to wander around in the dark and hope you find the right area. I just think the Cutie Monster's kind of stupid. I'm sorry, which is why it's ranked so low. Next up on the list is something that's probably gonna upset a few of you, but at number 32, I have the Mom Boss. And you might be surprised to see one of the game's only 3 bosses ranked so low on the list. Isn't this one of the strongest monsters in the game? How is it so low? Well, truthfully, the Mom Boss has the potential to be way higher on this list, but the biggest issue is that it's a glitched mess. Basically, the entire time this thing has existed, there's been some sort of glitch or issue that prevents you from being able to beat it. But there's nothing more frustrating than gathering your friends, gearing up for a boss battle, jumping into the fight, and then losing 3/4 of the way through because the game is broken. Like, it just sucks. I really hope they find a way to fix this thing, because it should be easily A tier, but for now it's stuck in E because it's annoying and broken. Number 31 on the list is the Segway Monster. And this is another interesting one to have so low, because even though it's a beast that can kill you instantly, it low-key still kind of sucks. Like, all you have to do to kill it is walk up to it and tap it a few times. It's really not much of a challenge at all. But on top of that, I also just find it to be pretty annoying, because it's supposed to stop moving whenever you look at it. You know, kind of like a reverse red light, green light kind of thing. But sometimes when the game is a little bit laggy, the timing feels off and the Segway will keep moving even after you're looking at it, and it might even kill you. But overall, this monster just feels like a chore. Anytime you see it, you have to go out of your way to kill it, or else you might suffer a cheap death. You have to loot up again and get back in the offices. It's just, ugh. At number 30 on the list, we have the Robo Dog. Woof, woof. Sorry about that. And I'll keep this short. I find this dog really annoying. It's loud, it's obnoxious. I randomly start shooting a crazy amount of rockets at your face. And it's in such a tight part of the map, you can't even really see or tell what's going on. One second you're walking through the nuclear reactor, the next second you've been exploded for no reason. It kind of reminds me when you log into Animal Company sometimes and you spawn into a modded lobby that just has monsters everywhere. Those lobbies are super laggy. There's unlimited explosions around you, and it ends up just giving you a headache and making you want to leave. That's the Robo-Dog experience. At number 29, still in E tier, we have the Mimic. This is one of the game's first monsters, and look how far it's fallen. Also, I know they recently added Eden Mimics to the game, but I'm lumping those together with just the normal Mimic too. They're basically the same thing. But yeah, I just don't find Mimics fun anymore. And I can see why they might be fun if they actually fooled you. But nowadays, they aren't fooling anyone. They're just kind of annoying. For example, nobody's going to a location called the Mimic Pipe in the middle of the deep dark forest and then being like, whoa, look at all these players. There's a party going on. Why is it so dark in here? Where sometimes they spawn already dead, and other times they don't even attack you at all. But the real worst part about the Mimic is fighting them, because given all the new perks and buffs the game has added, the Mimic basically doesn't hurt you. And so you're just stuck trying to swivel your head around, trying to beat this thing to death with a steel pipe, and it just feels like a waste of time. But if this one surprised you, this next one's gonna blow your mind. Number 28, the Big Bomb. And now I know what you're thinking. How could the Big Bomb possibly be ranked lower than the normal bomb? The Big Bomb is stronger and, well, bigger. Shouldn't it be ranked higher because it's more powerful? And here's the thing. When it's operating correctly and when it locks onto you, you only have 2 seconds to get out of the way before it explodes. And that's pretty good. For example, let me give you a quiz right here. Let's see if you pass the survival test. You have 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, it explodes. Did you survive? But here are the issues with the Big Bomb. The first is that it only spawns in one map location. It's in the middle of the woods in this completely random cave that you have no incentive to explore. The Big Bomb always seems sort of glitched. Like, I see this thing, it activates, and then it runs away from me. Like, it almost feels like it became self-aware and realized that if it explodes, it dies. And now it's like,
oh, darn. Shucks, that adventurer got away. I guess I can't die today. Shoot, darn.
It's the world's laziest employee, and until they fix it, E tier. Next on our list, still somehow in E tier, is number 27, the anglerfish. And this one might surprise people having it ranked so low, because the anglerfish actually used to be one of my favorite monsters in the game. You walk around in creepy dark locations, you turn on a flashlight, and then, oh no, it's Finding Nemo! But remember, E tier is for the annoying and glitched monsters. And oh golly, is the anglerfish glitched. Somewhere along the way, it stopped being as sensitive to light. Like, look at this old footage, for example. Look how far away he would see the light and attack you from. But nowadays, you could just walk like right next to it with your light and it doesn't even care. I really hope they find a way to fix this because he deserves to be higher up. But now for number 26, the final monster in E tier, the mechanical spider. The mechanical spider is another OG monster that finds its way really low down. And here's a fun fact for you. A lot of people don't know this, but the spiders are actually noise sensitive. It basically won't attack you unless you hit one of its webs or if you speak. Here, look at this. I'll whisper until I get close. Ready? Hey, please subscribe. Ow! Oh! But here's the situation. The reason nobody knows about that fun fact is because nobody's ever had to rely on that fun fact. Nobody's ever had to figure out how to beat the spider because it's just a horribly easy monster to beat. It attacks you, it politely waits like 3 seconds, it attacks you again, waits another 3 seconds. All you really have to do at some point is like wiggle a stick at it, pause, or just walk away. It's really not that tricky to survive. And to be honest, even that's okay. Not every single monster needs to be this impossibly difficult beast to fight. It's okay to have easier monsters. But the reason it's an E tier, the glitch tier, is because this thing just spawns in the ceiling now? Wait, what? Now we finally worked our way up to D tier, which I'm gonna call the bad tier. And things in this category aren't broken, they're just not very good. Starting off with number 25, the flashbang bomb. And this is the perfect example of a bad monster. It sees you, it sprints at you, blinds you, and then you're stuck for a few seconds praying that you don't get attacked by another monster. The first is that it's pretty easy to dodge. All you have to do is turn your head away when it explodes, and suddenly the monster's useless. The second reason, though, is that the flashbang bomb also freezes the nearby enemies when it explodes. The scariest scenario that could ever happen with one of these bombs is that it blinds you and then you're attacked by something nearby, but that almost never happens because this bomb freezes everything around you and makes it so that you're basically 100% safe. It's a bad monster. And another bad monster at number 24 is the eyeball monster. Not to be confused with the cyst, these are the guys in the reactor area. And although I do like the design of these guys, their eyeballs remind me of my little snail ears. Overall, they're just incredibly weak monsters. You see them, you walk through, and then you make it out completely fine. Feels scary hearing all the background attack noises, but really you have to be bad to let these guys kill you because they really don't do that much damage. You can also try killing them, but to be honest, the hitboxes don't really make a ton of sense to me. Overall, these are just the cyst monster's lamer younger cousin, D tier. And speaking of lame, we now have number 23 on the list, the slimy. And I just really don't like this monster. Am I allowed to just not like a guy? I find them irritating. There's not like any fun game mechanics built into these guys. They're just camouflage landmines that are a little bit freaky. You walk by them, sometimes brush against them, take some damage, get on with your day. There's just nothing fun about slimy. And there's also nothing fun about number 22 on our list, the chest mimic. And the chest mimic has potential. And sometimes instead of getting a real prize, you get a surprise because they they jump scare you. But after the initial jump scare attack, the chest mimics then just start running away from you, and they're truthfully really hard to catch. It'd be so cool if these guys hunted you down and continued to actually try killing you, but instead they become this annoying chase sequence, and to be honest, I usually just give up on even trying unless I have like a hook shot readily available. Bad monster. Now at number 21, we have the yin worm. And a lot of people don't know this, but there are actually two types of sandworms in Animal Company: the yin worm and the yang worm. The yin worm is the one that looks more like a fish. And Animal Company actually confirmed that its head is a gorilla skull. And I like the idea of the yin worm. It's this cool creature that hides around in the sand and will target you if you're nearby. To me, where it falls flat though is that it doesn't stay and keep battling you. It just sort of runs away after one little nibble. Because every time it shows up and hurts you, you try to hit it, but it's already hidden back in the sand. And that makes it pretty annoying to deal with, because by the time you realize it's there, it's already gone again. You can't really ignore it because it's gonna keep returning. So you have to just sit alone in your cave, waiting frantically for the demon fish to arise. And if you do somehow manage to hit it, well, good luck. You have to do it 6 more times because it has so much more health. And yeah, it's just an unfun monster to deal with. At number 20, we have the Armstrong. And the reason I have him ranked as a bad monster is because it truly is just not good at its job. His whole bit is that once he locks on and punches you, you go flying backwards. And this could be a great game mechanic if they place the Armstrong in the right types of locations. Like, imagine a parkour room where you have to navigate this tricky obstacle course, but then you accidentally trigger an Armstrong that punches you off the edge to your death. Like, that would be sick. And to Animal Company's credit, there actually is one location of an Armstrong that I think is brilliant. In the sewers, there's this spot right next to a red light, green light monster. And sometimes when it's red light, the Armstrong will punch you, which activates the red light, green light monster and kills you. It's really good. But the other spots in the map where Armstrong's placed are terrible. Its potential is completely wasted. Sometimes he's in a random cave in the forest. When he punches you, he pushes you away from him, but that actually just helps you escape him pretty quickly. And a monster that's bad at killing you is a bad monster. But now we're moving on to C tier with number 19 on this list, the zombie. This is the first monster we're putting in the neutral tier. And the monsters here aren't bad or anything. They just don't really excite me either. They kind of feel like placeholder monsters that exist because the devs needed to add something but couldn't think of anything better. And so, for example, the zombies, they do their job. They're weak fodder type creatures that swarm around you in the graveyard. They aren't really that hard to kill. You just kind of wiggle a baseball bat or something at them. Overall, they're pretty boring. They're not very threatening. They're just the perfect C tier type monster. And another monster that doesn't excite me is number 18, the heart monster. I don't know about you guys, but this one just feels really bland to me. It's like, what are you?
A big heart.
What do you do?
If you get too close to me, I do some damage.
Okay, so if I just walk around the edge of the room right here, you won't hurt me?
Yeah.
There aren't really any unique mechanics about this monster. It just sort of seems like a placeholder creature that they needed to have themed to the inside of a giant shark. This is classic C tier behavior. Now, number 17 is a bit of a controversial one, but it's where I put the clown, which is tough because I really like the concept of the clown. He looks mad creepy, terrifying even, and he's got these evil shrieking sound effects that are probably the scariest in the game. The only problem is that the clown literally doesn't hurt you. Not a single speck of damage. He captures you, drags you around, and then spawns you in Squid Game, which I guess oftentimes will kill you if you're not careful, but it's not really the clown killing you. It's just an annoying mini game. There's certain things I love about this clown. There are certain things that I hate about the clown, and that's why I have him at 17th place, which is the exact middle of this ranking chart. And at number 16, we now have the normal bomb. You might remember that the big bomb was E tier. How is the normal bomb all the way up in C tier? While it's true that the normal bomb is a bit weaker than the big one, the thing that works well for the normal bomb is that it's a lot more common throughout the map, and it also tends to spawn in packs. The normal bomb still can be pretty glitched at times. Sometimes it just runs away from you like the big one does. It also becomes like a clever feature, just a smoke screen of them ping-ponging around until one of them goes definitely could be better, but for now it's in the neutral tier. And now for our final monster in C tier, we have the Yang Worm. Again, the Yang Worm is the sand creature without the gorilla skull. It's this hulking giant sandworm that lurks around the dig site. And I actually think this guy is pretty cool. Its whole bit is that it swims around and spawns in new sand voxels. And that way it makes sure that the dig site never gets too empty because it's always replacing the dirt you dig up. It doesn't target players at all, but if it ever happens to incidentally bump into you, you take a ton of damage. And I'm also pretty sure the Yang Worm is unkillable because me and some friends sunk about 50 RPG ammo into it and it didn't break a sweat. So this monster isn't so much an enemy that you take on in battle, but it's a constant lurking threat reminding you that you're never quite safe in the dig site. But now everything left on this list is ranked good or above. And we'll get to our first monster in B tier, the chicken. The chicken can be found in 2 locations in the map. The first one is this little nest campsite where it sits on top of and protects its golden egg. I love that this thing has its own treasure. But if you get too close, it charges at you rapidly and ferociously. It's powerful, it's quick, it's got great oral hygiene. But let me tell you about the second spot on the map where you could find the chicken, this little hidden cave in the forest. And for some reason in this spot, the chicken is permanently aggroed by default. It's not protecting an egg, it's just angry at the world already. And I find this to be even more terrifying. You hear its sinister growl in the background, and then before you know it, it's violently biting you to death. The chicken can kill you quickly, it's a scary monster, and that's why it's in the good tier. Now at number 13, we have the Shadow Mob. And a lot of people have mixed opinions on this one, but I tend to genuinely enjoy the Shadow Monster. It's a high-level threat that's capable of taking you out almost immediately. But I also love the uniqueness of its design. This creepy lurking entity that thrives in dark places, only killable by shining a light directly on top of it. Unfortunately, you can only encounter these guys in the log cabin, hidden away in the ski area. But I think it could be fun if Animal Company also introduced these guys in different parts of the map. Dark areas like the mines or maybe the deep forest. Ooh, that would be mad interesting. Can you imagine? You're in the deep forest, you see a shadow monster, you turn on your flashlight to try and kill it, but then you alert 2 anglerfish that come and eat you alive. That could be some really interesting gameplay. And speaking of interesting gameplay, we now have number 12, the Blob Monster. And the Blob Monster has me a bit torn because usually I don't like copycat monsters, ones that sort of steal the same features of already existing entities. And to me, this one shares a lot of the same DNA as the cyst. It's big, it's pink, extendo arms looking guy, surrounded by puddles of whatever this stuff is. But if you ignore its looks, the Blob Monster actually has a pretty interesting set of mechanics. They only go aggro on you if you touch the ground. So even though the floor is water, it really turns things into a game of the floor is lava. Please subscribe, please. It also is just a genuinely challenging monster to go against because no matter how hard you try, you basically always get to a point in the server room where you're forced to jump on the ground and then sprint for your life. The Blob Monster is dangerous, fun, and a solid B tier contributor. Next up on the list at number 11 is the Hellswarm. And the Hellswarm is another monster that just fits perfectly inside its environment. Like, the lava world looks scary, but by itself, the only dangerous thing would be the lava. And you can avoid that pretty easily as long as you don't, like, slip and fall or whatever. But the thing that keeps the lava world scary is the giant floating monster that can target you basically anywhere you are. And I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally slipped and died in the lava because of this thing. But even if you successfully avoid the lava, you then have to deal with an army of bombs that are locked onto you, firing directly at your face. And if you somehow survive one of these onslaughts, all you have to do next is try and survive 2 others. But now we're finally at our top 10, and things are about to get juicy. Our last monster in the good tier is the turkey. All right, I know this one's gonna be controversial, but just hear me out. The turkey is debatably the weakest monster in the entire game. It is by definition the lowest possible threat you can face. So how is it so high up on the list? Well, remember, this tier list is also based off the monster's uniqueness and what they contribute to the game's playability. And this is where the turkey shines. It's supposed to be the introductory monster to the game. It mainly floats around in the overworld, it doesn't bother you, and they're great to use for target practice as you learn the game's mechanics. It's the first monster that most players kill. It's got the goofiest design I've ever seen. It's the best possible beginner monster you could ask for, and therefore it earns a spot in our top 10. But now it's time to move on up to A tier, the great tier. And our first great monster is the Banshee. The Banshee is one of the oldest monsters in the game, and it's still one of the best ones. The haunted house is already creepy enough, but the fact that you can't turn on a flashlight because of this monster just makes it 10 times scarier. The Banshee is one of 2 total monsters that has a jump scare that actually terrifies me. And the only reason Banshee is ranked number 9 and not higher is because while she used to always be a one-shot kill, if you buy the right perks on the tech tree, she actually will never be able to one-shot you on her own. She'll get you down to 1 HP, but then she self-destructs and you're safe again. A monster that is able to kill you, though, is number 8 on our list, the Muppet. The Muppet is great because it reminds me of other fantastic mascot horror games like Poppy Playtime or Five Nights at Freddy's. Just this creepy animated doll spirit that wanders around an abandoned daycare full of dead bodies. If this thing catches you, it kills you almost instantly. It's everything I hoped the clown monster would be and more. But now for number 7 on the list, we have the vent monster. It lurks around in the vents. Once you see it, you get a few warning signs to back off before it freaks out on you. And I think it's just the perfect balance of being difficult to fight, but also being kind of optional to fight if you're skilled enough. This monster actually seems pretty similar to the slimy monster that I hate so much. This powerful creature that hangs out in tight tunnels. But with the vent monster, there's technique and strategy you could use to try and dance around them. It's a fun little mini game on your adventure towards the brain map. It's just interesting to me how small tweaks in game design can transform something from being bad into something great. But continuing on our list, at number 6, we have the cyst monster. And the cyst monster is excellent. There is so much to love. Number 1, it could take any area on the map and transform it into a cool obstacle course, transforming an environment from boring to exciting instantly. I also love that if you accidentally touch a tentacle, there's theoretically time for you to react and defend yourself. It's not always a guaranteed insta-death, because if you're quick enough, you can maybe hide behind a corner, or you could run far enough away where it can't reach you. If you're lucky enough to be holding a shield, you could even use that to block it off. The cyst is dangerous, it's fun, you take it seriously when you see it, and it's truly just a peak Animal Company monster. But not quite peak enough to be ranked higher, because these top 5 are truly the best monsters in the entire game, starting with number 5, Red Light, Green Light. This is another one of the game's classic monsters. And of all the monsters in Animal Company, Red Light, Green Light is the only one that forces you to stop in your tracks. Move, and you die. There's one Red Light, Green Light that spawns in the deep forest. And if I'm being honest, this one's kind of useless because you could just hookshot on the ceiling. But the 2 Red Light, Green Light monsters in the sewers, these are 2 of the best monsters in the entire game. Hookshots don't work on metallic surfaces, so there's no real way to cheat the system here. If it's red, you've got to stop unless you have a death wish. And if that's the case, I wish you the best. It's a fantastic OG monster, but not the highest ranked OG, because at number 4, we have the Ogre. This is the final monster in A tier. And no, I'm not talking about Shrek. I'm talking about Baldy McBaldpants. The Ogre's just so good at its role. Its main location is in the entrance of the forest. It's the first real taste of danger that most players get. You can kind of sneak around it if you're careful, but if you're stupid enough to mess with it, you're in for a world of trouble. This thing is a tank with HP. You won't be able to beat it with just any random stick. If you get too close to it, it'll grab you and just snap your spine in half. It really hurts. And if you think you can outsmart it by just trying to attack from far away, you're mistaken. This guy has that Shohei Ohtani pitching arm. He can kill you from anywhere on the field. He's an absolute unit. And he'd probably be the top monster on our tier list if it weren't for these final 3 monsters that are all in the S tier. At number 3 on our list, we have the Shadow Boss. This is the newest monster on our list, and it's already an S tier because it simply does everything right. It's a big, dangerous boss that you have to go on a huge journey to encounter. It's extremely powerful, but there are tricks and strategies to beat it. It's easier to defeat with friends, so it encourages co-op play. And there are distinct levels when you're fighting it. It's not something you just needlessly shoot 1,000 RPG ammo at. You have to follow a series of steps and phases if you want to conquer it. You have to have a little bit of brain power to beat this one. Once you defeat it, it drops these really cool and exclusive laser drill guns. And I just love the fact that Animal Company is doing exclusive boss loot. I hope AC reflects on the success of this monster and continues to add cool boss fights to the game, because it really helps bring back a sense of adventure to this game. The second highest ranked monster in the game, the Employee. And this one might shock people, because how is the Employee all the way in S tier? Well, let me first start off by being perfectly clear. I hate this bozo. I hate his stupid smile. I hate how his loud laugh bursts through my eardrums. And I hate how he's sometimes inexplicably just dirty. Brother, take a shower. But just being completely real, the Employee is hands down the scariest monster in all of AC. They're buried deep within the office in this back roomy, upside down looking area. And can I just say, even this environment is just terrifying. You physically can't turn on your flashlight no matter how hard you try. But the Employees are silent stalkers, creeping around any corner until suddenly you hear and then you're dead. And it's great that they're so difficult to get by, because they're guarding one of the game's most ultimate treasures, the dupe machine. These are annoying monsters to deal with, but they're annoying for good cause. And also, they have the scariest jump scares in the game. I'm sorry, Banshee. But that brings us to our number 1 monster on the entire list. Number 1, the Lava Titan. You know how I had the Ogre in A tier? Well, the Lava Titan is like if an Ogre chugged 10 company rations and then lit itself on fire. I don't know why, but it's on fire. Just an absolutely crazy powerful tank of a monster. It has disgusting amounts of health. You can only encounter it by doing a cool summoning ritual. This thing is just the final boss of the game. Now, I don't think it's as engaging of a boss fight as the Shadow boss, for example, because the Lava Titan doesn't really have distinct phases when you're fighting it. You just kind of have to be rich and then fire off an ungodly amount of grenades and RPGs at it. But this is the first boss monster that Animal Company ever added. And if you ever want just a straightforward but fun challenge with your friends, you could summon this demon and start unloading ammo into it. It's an intense fight and it's a blast. This is my second time ranking every monster in the game. And if you want to see how it compares to the first time I did this, back when there was only 18 monsters to fight, be sure to check out this video right here. Or if you want to see me take on the Lava Titan with a mech I built, be sure to check out this video here. Thank you, Snailers, for watching, and remember, stay chubby.
The monsters, rank the monsters, rank the monsters, rank the monsters. I ranked all the monsters, I ranked all of the monsters, I ranked the monsters. I ranked all of the monsters, I ranked all the monsters, I ranked the monsters.